Mortal Kombat 2, the sequel to the last film that came out in 2021, based on the video game franchise of the same name. Now, the interesting thing about that last one, I understood what they were going for, which was like, look, out of all the video game franchises out there, Mortal Kombat, story-wise, it's not the strongest. Last of Us, Mortal Kombat is not, right, when it comes to story. And so I understood, like, they were trying to go a little bit more depth, maybe add some layers, like Arcane, probably not a good comparison, but Arcane Mortal Kombat, which is add depth and characters and make you be invested and all that kind of stuff, and make the general audience go, holy shit, this is a Mortal Kombat movie? This is awesome, Yes, you get the cool fights and the fatalities and all that kind of stuff, but holy crap, look, this is good character stuff. And they were trying to go for that. And it just panned out, it just didn't work out. Now, apparently, it became like the most highest watching thing on HBO during COVID, so they're like, hey, let's make a sequel out of this. So we're here with the second film. And I would say this, is it a good movie? Like, is it a good movie? No. Mortal Kombat 2 is not a good movie. Like, plot-wise, if you start thinking about the plot, your brain is going to melt. Like, characters are showing up, they're introducing things out of the blue. The ending feels so corrupt. Like, they're trying to be like, like, oh, we're here to spoiler for, like, the final 30 seconds of the film, but, like, we're gonna save our friends. And I'm like, how do you know you can even save your friends? How? Unless I missed something, like, how? Like, oh, the dead ones and that, or they're referencing stuff that is clearly the hinting to the sequel nonsense. Characters become good guys, characters become bad guys, out of the blue, with no reasoning. Oh, well, they give you reasons, but they don't feel warranted or natural. It's the first 10 minutes is like probably the worst parts of the movie. Like, not the first 10 minutes, but there's a section after the prologue where we meet Satana. Satana? Yeah, Satana. As a full-on adult. And her introduction and her relationship with our villain, Shao Kahn, who's like the emperor, the king of one of the realms, who wants to rule all the realms, because it's not combat. We're talking about realms, and there's a fighting tournament, and if whoever wins rules the world or rules the universe realms, it's not combat. Don't try and think about it. But those, I will say this, between the prologue and the first scene that we see of Johnny Cage, I'm like, ooh, this is rough. This is really rough. Like, this needed another extra, like, editing. This felt like, trim here, trim there. Like, the odd, like, characters saying something before they throw a punch. I'm like, this doesn't really work as well. How Sub-Zero enters into the film was like, oh my god, this is bad. This is bad. Oh my lord. Like, I'm like, this is not... as narratively and as structurally as a movie, it's a bad movie. Still not good. But if you're there to just see fight scene after fight scene, if you're there want to see, like, I don't know, 10 fight scenes in a span of 2 hours, like, it's that movie. There's not, like, it feels like less than 5 minutes. It's a big fight scene, a big action sequence. And then, one of the criticisms with the last film was, like, the editing of those action sequences were horrible. And they improved it. I understand there's the first film at the time, because I hired the same director to to direct this sequel. That at the time it was directed by a first-time filmmaker, a first-time director, and a first-time screenwriter. And they, how to put it? They have learned in the sequel that when it comes to action sequence, there's this thing called wide shots and mid shots, and you can stay onto it a little bit. Like you can kind of have it stay, like have the camera or have the shot linger for a good 10 seconds. You can do that before you cut to the next shot. You can do that. So there's improvement in the action side of things. The brutalities are, because my guess this time they are, because they're embracing the campiness of Mortal Kombat, that the blood and gore aspect of things, like, yeah, it's now, like, I remember the last one, like, I was like, I know this is a big deal that there's all this blood and all that in a Mortal Kombat, in a Mortal Kombat movie, because the ones from the 90s didn't, but it felt very tame. This one is, because they're upping the cartoony nature of the brutalities, they're going full force with it. Like fingers getting chopped off, and heads getting smashed in, and this cat dies this way, and this cat dies that way, and this, brutalities galore, and so it kind of shows, like, okay, this feels a little bit more of a Mortal Kombat kind of brutality and the more fatalities that you see in those games. There were some references that I was like, okay, they had stages and how they are, and before we jump to the next scene, the fighters are standing like they are in the fighting game. Like, it's like they are in the game. So there are these little references here and there along with it. But yeah, I mean, I've realized if I spoil one fight scene, there's like 10 others. So there's one dealing with spikes, dealing with Sonic Blade. I thought that was a good one. There is one dealing with the first Johnny Cage full fight, where it's basically, because Johnny Cage is now, because this is also a little bit of like a soft reboot. This is kind of like a soft reboot. So Johnny Cage comes in, he's like, oh, I'm just an actor, I'm not a fighter, and all that kind of stuff, but he's dragged into this. So he gets his ass kicked, but still lives. But the fight scene itself is actually pretty well put together. And that there's one dealing with bloody hell, I'm trying to remember these characters' name, but there's like dealing with the guy with the hat. Was it Kang Lang with the hat, with the blade, and how you have to have this fight scene where fists are connecting and kicks and all that, but at the same time you have to have your awareness happening, your self-awareness, knowing that there's a hat flying around, going full Objob on steroids, heading towards you. So the action side of things is there. Like, if you're there just for see the fights with little to no plot, kind of like a 80s film, a film from the 80s, yeah, it's going to tick those boxes. But if you're there for actual, like, you want some depth, you want some meat on the bone, if you want some stories, some actual, like, meat, it's not going to be that type of movie. I mean, they agreed like a third film, so clearly they think this film's going to do well, and it's doing all the things that tick the boxes. I mean, at this point, I kind of feel like this is like the Resident Evil, like the new Via Jovovich Resident Evil films, where it's like, look, they're not good, they'll have its audience, but like, you might watch it once and then watch it again. Which is kind of annoying if you keep hinting what's going to happen in the sequel. Just want to put it out there. Because you're like, oh yeah, right, that thing happened. Yeah, right, that. Yep, Yep. Anyway, no Kombat 2, you've seen this film. Oh yeah, and Scorpion shows up at the very end. Sometimes I'm thinking, sometimes it feels like you need to just add this character just because people will be pissed that character ain't in it. It's like, we need to put Sub-Zero in it. Why? Because Sub-Zero just is needed. It's just gonna piss people off. Why do you need Scorpion in this? Because it's gonna just piss people off that Scorpion, I get it, he's the mascot. I am curious. Probably the safe thing to do is just make Scorpion the main character of the damn movie. That's probably the safe thing to do. I just put it out there. By the way, if they ever make a Black Canary film, if DC or James Gunn ever said, hey, let's adapt that Tom King Black Canary Best of the Best movie. You know what? The actress who plays Sonda Blake actually would play a good Black Canary. I just want to put that in the ether out there. But anyway, comment below. Let me know your thoughts on No Kombat 2.